You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. We're going to be going over another Brilliant Stars deck profile, and this one's going to be on the Salt Lake City Regional Championship winning archetype. That's going to be Arceus VSTAR with Gengar VMAX. Now, earlier on my channel, I did cover an Arceus Gengar deck, but it's not necessarily the same build of what we've covered or what we've seen at Salt Lake City Regionals. The goal of Drew's deck is to basically be an Arceus deck, accelerate energies to an to either Arceus or Gengar, and then you have that Gengar hitting that consistent damage or using Fear and Panic correctly against decks that is helpful against VMAX, and it seemed to be a general good metagame call. Weird thing is, a lot of people are not necessarily playing it, so I figured, why don't we show this deck some love? It did just win a regional championships in the Master Division, and I do have my own take on the list as well. If you haven't already, give this video a like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you like this deck, if you don't like this deck, have you tried it, anything. Let's spark a discussion. In the description of this video, you could always go to metafy.gg/@ZachLesage if you're trying to pick up some coaching to learn a little bit more about how to play this deck or any other deck in the format. It really would help me out as a content creator, and all those proceeds do directly go to helping me out. If you're trying to pick up any of the cards for these decks, you go to PTCGO.com, plug in code ZLesage5 to save 5% on your next order. You can also go to atlascollectibles.com and go to use code ZLesage8 to save 8% on your order. Again, those are all in the description. Check those out. Also in the description is the copy and pasteable deck list. You can copy and paste it right into PTCGO, PTCG Live. We're going to be covering over the deck list in this video, showing you what it is, strategies, gameplay, more. Check it out. Let's jump into the deck list, see exactly what's going on. So here's what we got going on with the list. Of course, with any Arceus deck, we got access to Trinity Charge, so we can accelerate energies to our Gengars, our other Arceus, whatever V-Star, V-Max, V-Union Pokemon we have in play. And we're going to be evolving into Arceus V-Star, so we get access to that Starbirth ability, searching once during the game for any two cards. So whatever we need, maybe it's double turbo, maybe we need a supporter, whatever we need, Starbirth is going to help us through that. Trinity Nova does give us a little bit of extra damage to kind of push through those tough situations, and really putting into some kind of two-shot. So we'd like to get a prize card with Arceus V-Star if possible. And I mean, there's lots of ways. Like, you can even Starbirth for a boss's orders, and that sounds pretty hot if you ask me. We do have Bibarel here as an extra way to draw some cards throughout the game. We do play Path to the Peak, so we are going to be a little bit tight under our abilities. So it is really helpful to kind of have that consistent refresh of draw. I just thought the 1/1 was cool here, and I also included a single Dunsparce just because this deck is pretty heavily weak to fighting. I figured, why don't we have some kind of option, use Arceus V-Star to kind of grow against that, and Galarian Zigzagoon plus Choice Belt plus Trinity Nova minus the 20 from Double Turbo Energy is enough to knock out an Arceus V. So I thought it would be a really cool combination, similar to what I saw from Isaiah Bradner's deck from Salt Lake City. Shout out to them. So we are going to be moving on to the Gengar Vs. Gengar V is like, okay, you want to be accelerating energy with Trinity Nova or Trinity Charge to this Pokemon, and eventually you could evolve into a Fear and Panicable Gengar VMAX, punishing your opponent for playing down those Pokemon V and hitting for a lot of damage with Gmax Swallow Up. 250 plus the 30 here does work out really nicely. With Tool Scrapper, you could even take out a big charmed Arceus V-Star, taking out that big charm first, doing 250 plus the additional 30 damage here from Choice Belt, so it does really work out overall. One thing that I did want to add into this deck, because it does require a lot of basics, is Battle VIP Pass. I don't think enough players are giving this deck or this card the love that it deserves. It's one of those things where I found a lot of decks just need Battle VIP Pass nowadays. If we look at any beginning turns, if you just go Pokemon Pass, you often lose to Meloetta, or you're going to lose to a quick Arceus V-Star. We need basic Pokemon down in play more than ever, and if the best decks in format, such as Mew VMAX, traditional Gengar VMAX are both playing Battle VIP Pass, why can't we take that mentality and apply it to other decks? So you're probably going to see a lot more of my decks seeing Battle VIP Pass whenever I can fit it in. The rest of the list is pretty traditional. We do have Path to the Peak, and we do have a Collapsed Stadium, so taking some traditional nods from Drew Kennett's list. But I do think Path to the Peak does work incredibly well with Gengar, as we've seen in my traditional Gengar Path to the Peak build that I've worked on. Everything else here, really normal. So I do want to jump into some gameplay. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting through 1 or 2 games, or even 3 games, 4 games. It doesn't matter. I just want to really show what the strategy is going with. So let's see exactly what this deck can do. So we're going to go ahead and call the coin flip, and we lost the coin flip. That's going to be a little bit tough because we do want to be able to go first, but maybe we'll be able to go for a Trinity Charge going second. It's not the worst case scenario at all. And it does look like we do have the capabilities of being able to do that with this deck. Now, the one thing that's a little bit tough is our hand's a little meh. It's one thing that I've noticed when playing this deck, but we will be able to go turn 2 Ultra Ball, pitch a couple of resources, get that double turbo on, and power up a Gengar V. Maybe we'll be able to top deck a Marnie, or maybe top deck a Path and really slow down this Mew VMAX deck. I think one of the reasons why a lot of players have not necessarily been playing this deck is because it does tend to be a little bit more clunky than a traditional Gengar deck or a traditional Arceus deck. So by combining the two of them, it did win a regional championships, but in my experience, it hasn't necessarily been better. It's one of those things where I really just want to showcase what this deck can do, but will we get there? That's going to be the big question. It almost has 0 metagame percentage when it comes to it nowadays compared to a traditional Gengar deck. So I think players have kind of been pretty decisive when it comes down to it. And maybe that's just because Drew posted their list 2-3 days after the event happened. I know everyone's busy when it comes to travel and stuff like that and decided to post it as a YouTube video. Maybe enough players haven't really seen what this deck can do beyond just watching the Salt Lake City stream. Or they might have just thought that it's just a traditional Gengar because they heard about it from their friends. One thing that I do want to see is I want to use that Rose Tower to maybe draw some cards and get out of this like a little bit of a tough spot situation that we're in here. So not too crazy. We do get an escape rope. I think what we might want to do here is try to thin this hand down. So let's go for the Ultra Ball first. I think the biggest thing that I want to be going for is maybe go like this. Yeah, let's just go like that. That sounds like a really good plan, and we can kind of thin through the rest of our hand to draw some more stuff. So let's go here. Let's see if we have an Arceus. Please. We don't have the 1V, and we can see exactly what else is prized. But as long as we just get set up a little bit, we're probably okay. So let's go for the Arceus there. And before we bench anything, we're just going to double check. So we're going to attach that there. We are going to be able to go Trinity Charge and accelerate those energies to the Gengar. So let's go Arceus V, drop that down. Let's slap on the double turbo energy. And now we can play rope on our opponent. They're probably just going to send up their Mew. Maybe they'll send up the Meloetta. It reasonably could happen. Okay, yeah. Now we want to go boss's orders onto that Meloetta, or onto the Genesect, just to give ourselves a little bit more time. We have a bad hand. This is what I call a defensive boss. So we're going to go defensive boss there because it doesn't really matter what we're knocking out. Choice Belt also probably doesn't matter too much, but Gengar is going to knock it anything out anyways, so let's just go like that. Slap it on. Rose Tower for a full fresh 3. Not really too much else going on with our hands, but that's okay. We are going to be able to go Trinity Charge, and let's hope that this is going to work here. Would love to get out another Gengar, but here we are, powering up all of our Gengar. Gengar is fully powered up, and we're chilling after that Trinity Charge. What's our opponent going to do? Fingers crossed that they don't knock this out. That's really what our best case scenario is. They're an escape rope away. But maybe they won't be able to get it with the way that their hand's playing out. I'm honestly not sure. We'll see what Fusion Strike system draws for our opponent. They should be using Rose Tower first, just in terms of sequencing, and they're correctly choosing that. So our opponent definitely knows what's going on. But if this Gengar makes it out, I think we're good enough. Because one thing that this deck does have over a traditional Gengar is that you're not using Single Strike Roar to accelerate energies to a Gengar V or VMAX, which means that you're not taking that extra damage. The extra damage that we're doing to our opponent doesn't really matter in this matchup because they're weak against everything. They have all of the Fear and Panicable Pokemon in the world. But we'll have to see how this plays out. So far they're going Elsa Sparkle. Doesn't look like they have boss, so they'd have to get escape rope in order to knock us out. It's actually crazy. If we did not play the boss and we held the boss last turn, it might have been better for us to just like draw only 2 cards with Rose Tower if we look back in retrospect on how easy it was for us to get those cards. Let's see what their Fusion Strike system brings them, and again, we're really hoping like Switch is fine, escape rope sucks for us. Come on, don't play escape rope. Don't play Cram-O-Matic. You can sit here, and this is what you gotta hope for when you're playing against Mew. Even if you're playing a hard counter like a Gengar Arceus, it doesn't even necessarily matter too much if they are just able to rip your Pokemon to shreds before you even get set up. And again, we're just waiting here. And if we make it out this turn, or maybe if they don't even put the Genesect out, I think we just absolutely just tear this game up. But it looks like they are going to be able to get out another Genesect. Or at least that's what it looks like. Their bench is a little bit weak, but it doesn't really matter too much. 3 last cards. Let's see. Come on. No escape rope. No switch. No nothing, please. It'd be the greatest feeling ever. Tails. Of course, it had to be a heads. So Mew doing Mew things. We'll see what they end up going for. They might not even play Escape Rope. I mean, they should be playing Escape Rope, but yeah, Escape Rope. Who am I trying to kid here? The Gengar is just getting absolutely ripped to shreds. So I think that we're just like in a terrible position now. Because we just don't really have a great way to get around this. I mean, we could evolve into an Arceus V-Star. We could go Path to the Peak, Marnie our opponent. I think that's what our best case scenario is, while building up another Gengar V on the bench. So we're going to go ahead and go that. I mean, that's really our next step when it comes to playing against this matchup. And this is really one of the reasons why we are trying to play our deck. This is why I'd probably play a traditional Gengar deck overall, because we only need to get an energy and we would have been ready to go with Houndooms. Let's go Dark Energy goes here, and let's go Marnie again, hoping for a Starbirth or an Arceus V-Star of some sorts. We can thin down our hand a little bit. So let's go like this. We're gonna Quick Ball away. We already attached, so it doesn't matter. We're really just trying to get an Arceus V-Star here. So let's go ahead, put the Gengar down, and let's go Rose Tower. Did not get us where we want to go. So let's go like this, and we have to go for the Trinity Charge again. So let's go Trinity Charge. You can see we only have the one energy. We're probably just going to end up conceding this game because we're out. We should have double checked that before we pitched our other last energy. This game's absolutely over. We're going to jump into another one because we just can't really get much going on. Us missing there and having to pitch things away just really caused a lot of grief. So we will give our opponent the well played, and they have nothing. It doesn't matter. They're going to get the Chromatic or maybe get around it or maybe not. It doesn't matter. They're not going to get the active. They got it. So our opponent's going to be calling the coin flip here. And again, we want to be going first because we can evolve our Pokemon relatively easily. And we really want to be going for that turn 2 Trinity Nova if we get the opportunity. So we won the coin flip. Let's go. Let's see if we get a better hand than we did last game. I mean, you can do anything that they want to ever do. And let's see if we can get around. So you can see this is one of the strengths that I like for Battle VIP Pass. There's really not much that we're missing here. We got an energy. We got a Battle VIP Pass. We're chilling. Our hand looks great. And that Battle VIP Pass might not have been there. We would have been looking for other things. So it looks like we're playing against a Duraludon V deck. Maybe Arceus Duraludon V. That's totally cool. Let's keep our basic energies in mind here as we go through the deck. So let's go Battle VIP Pass for sure. Take a decent look through the deck. And I think what I want to go for is Arceus. Let's go for Gengar. I think that sounds great. We have enough energies to make that happen. Kind of. Yep. Yeah, I'm totally about that. So let's go Gengar. Let's attach our energy here. And we could also go for Quick Ball, discarding away another Quick Ball. So I do want to, if I could, I could have got another Bidoof, but we are just going to go for an Arceus here, just so we have another one built up, or at least an opportunity to maybe make things happen if our opponent somehow gets a knockout. There's no Crobats or anything else like this, so we got our great setup. We have Evolution Incense ready to go, and we can get out of any situation that we want. So let's go ahead here, pass to our opponent. We do got to watch out for the special energies that we attach in this matchup because of Duraludon VMAX's Skyscraper ability. But it is one of those things, if we are able to Starbirth, we can kind of get an attack off on this before anything really happens in the game, and get some chip damage off there. So not really a lot going on here. Our opponent did Marnie us out of a pretty good hand, but at least, yeah, I guess we're just going to send up this. We could still always go for Trinity Charge. And they didn't get any energies either, so they're probably just going to be behind a little bit. Okay, I'm totally cool with this. Let's, I'm just trying to think about what's the best way for us to deal about this situation. We do have a couple copies of Switch, so we might be able to get an attack off. I think what I want to do here is just go the double turbo energy there. Might be a little bit risky, but I'm one who's willing to take on some risk. We're just looking for an Arceus V-Star. That's all we're looking for. And you see, we did get the Arceus V-Star. We also have Path to the Peak to get through their things as well. So that does really help us out a lot. So we can just go Ultra Ball. We don't need the other Ultra Balls, really. We are going to go for an Arceus V-Star. And the Arceus V-Star is going to allow us to grab both a Switch and we can grab a supporter for next turn. So let's go Starbirth. Switch, and let's go for, I think Research just sounds great here. And while our setup's a little bit like weird, we are able to go Switch, Arceus, we can now go ahead and go Trinity Nova. Trinity Nova doing some damage to that Duraludon V and accelerating some energies onto the board. I'm about it. We're going to go 2 energies there and 1 energy onto this other Gengar V. So we always have options for Fear and Panic, but we can always just manually attach to get for that GMAX Swallow Up. So this is kind of an ideal setup for us. I mean, it's still a little bit awkward, but so far our opponent's not really doing too much. I can't tell if they're playing traditional Gengar or traditional Duraludon or Duraludon Arceus. I don't know if there's anything that we saw that would say one side or another, but we do have the opportunities with Path to the Peak, something that Drew did not have in their list, and Gengar VMAX with all these basic energies to just cut through their deck, doing a lot of damage. So keep that in mind. This deck should have a pretty good matchup. So they are playing the Arceus V. Got it. I think we're just going to take the knockout here, to be honest. I think we just go Dark Energy here. I'm fine to put Path down because they might be trying to go for some Starbirth play. We might just see a concession real quick overall. So let's go Path to the Peak goes down. And I don't really care about my hand right now. The Escape Rope's nice, but let's just go pitch away this. I wouldn't mind getting a couple Gengars in the process. So let's go like that. Grab a Gengar, and we are good to power up this one. This one's also just 1 away from a Fear and Panic. We even have Switch if we need to. But yeah, let's just go for the Trinity Nova. Boom, knockout. So freebie prize there. And we will just build up this energy onto this Pokemon. In hindsight, I don't think we needed that other Arceus down. We could always just slap on a double turbo energy to that Pokemon. And just kind of have another Pokemon powered up if we need to go for anything like a Power Edge or Arceus VSTAR. I mean, so far, so good. We're chilling. We don't really have the ability to one-shot much with Gengar VMAX, but we do have a consistent, like, kind of attacking prowess here. Oh, and they're just going to go Trinity Charge. That's completely cool. Now, I do want to see if it is possible for us to get a knockout here. I think it might be. If we are able to get a Choice Belt, that is. So let's go ahead, double check, see what we can get in the deck. We do have Zigzagoon. We do have Choice Belt, so I am going to try to go for it. If not, that's all it is. Let's put that there. Let's go ahead, put this down. I don't think there's any point of us just going Switch. Maybe there is. We can always just retreat if we really want to. The Collapsed Stadium's also not going to really matter at all. So let's go ahead and pitch this hand away. If we do get the Choice Belt, we did get the Choice Belt. This is, like I said, I picked it up from Isaiah's list. This really allows us to get to that extra little bit. I'm not going to even evolve that because I do like the opportunity of Dark Slumber as well. Quite a good attack. So now with the Choice Belt, the Zigzagoon damage, we are able to go for the Trinity Nova knockouts and just absolutely knocking that Pokemon out. It's amazing. This game is going swimmingly well, and it really shows what the strengths of this deck are. But I really do like some of the enhancements I made to Drew's list. No shame to Drew's list at all. I think it's a great starting point for the deck, and I mean, they are regional champions, so I don't really want to talk anything around them, but it is one of those things where I think there's always room for opportunities of growth. I think the play is going retreat, sending this up. And trying to get off some big damage. Maybe GMAX Swallow Up is the play, or maybe just doing 90 damage here and then going for the GMAX Swallow Up. I think that might be a little bit better. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say let's go Fear and Panic. It doesn't look like our opponent has too much going on. There's that 90 damage, and if they do not heal in any capacity, we could just knock them out for GMAX Swallow Up the following turn. Don't go GMAX Swallow Up unless you can kind of get them back to back. And yeah, they're gonna concede. We take those. Let's go. And as you can see, the deck is, it's half really good, half time sometimes it's a little bit hard to get set up, especially against that Mew deck. We struggled a little bit, but we were able to abuse Gengar VMAX against the Duraludon deck, and I thought that was really cool. The way that the whole game played out was super smooth. So there is something here when it comes to it. Having access to getting those gigantic OHKOs with Gengar in an Arceus deck is huge, and I like playing Arceus with VMAX Pokemon right now. It does give you that extra HP, and you can go Arceus VSTAR, VMAX kind of fighting things out. So I do think the Gengar VMAX adds quite a little bit, and you can see even with not a lot of Pokemon on their bench, Fear and Panic doing that 90 damage there set us up for the GMAX Swallow Up to where our opponent just conceded the game. it's really one of those decks where I don't necessarily know if I want to give my gigantic thumb up of approval of this deck. I do think it's going to kind of slip down the ranks for a little bit. It is the type of deck that it already won a regional championships. I do not think it's a bad deck by any means. However, I do feel like there are some inconsistencies with this deck compared to other decks. I'd much rather be playing some kind of Galarian Moltres or Galarian Zapdos in my Arceus deck, because that seems very much more format relative and probably would have been a little bit better against the Mew VMAX deck. Gengar is probably better as Gengar decks, and I think I'm very much a purist when it comes to these decks. I'm very excited to experiment with things, but I do think that there are opportunities to make a deck more pure, and I think that's where pure Gengar Path to the Peak deck does have a much better Mew VMAX matchup. So we'll see exactly how it goes. If this deck ends up spiking up, of course, we're going to be covering it again on the channel and seeing exactly what goes on in our Brilliant Stars metagame. Hopefully you enjoyed this deck, and I mean, if you do want to learn a little bit more about this deck or any other deck kind of going on, check out my coaching at metafy.gg/@ZachLassage. Totally love to get a session in with you. I've been incredibly busy with coaching, but I do have a little bit more room. By all means, hit me up. I can definitely help you on your Pokemon journey. If you are trying to pick up any of the cards for this deck, go to PTCGOstore.com, plug in code ZLassage5 to save 5% on your next order of codes. You can also go to AtlasCollectibles.com, plug in code ZLassage8 to save 8% on your next order of Pokemon singles. List is in the description. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all that stuff. It really does help me grow as a content creator, and I appreciate everything. That being said, I'll catch up with everyone later. I did take a mental health day off yesterday, or I guess this morning as well, but it's one of those things where I'm going to try to be back to double uploads, or daily uploads, double uploads when possible on this channel to just keep everyone in the know. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.